let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it feels nice to be back across the table.
That's right.
Not next to you. I'm always like...
Head to head. We're going head to head today.
We are going head to head.
We had to think about what we were going to talk about, and I don't know if we've landed on it yet. So I'm curious.
You threw out a topic that I love talking about. People, listen, the people have spoken, and they wanted more of just me and you.
They just think this chemistry is undeniable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you blame them?
Lots of laughs, lots of comedy.
Yeah. So, because when we have guests on, it's like, well, how far can I take this?
Right.
You
can't really push too hard, especially if you don't know them. And I don't know most of these people. So I don't know if I should tell that joke, that pops in your head. You're like, probably not going to, that's probably not going to land.
Yeah. Quick update. What's been going on?
What's been going on? We are in the fall right now.
You had your big store, your big party thing.
We had a big barbecue.
Yeah.
Steak and wings showdown.
You invited me to be a steak judge.
Oh, yeah. So listen,
delicious.
We had a competitive cook-off at the Blanchard store, steak and wings. I was super excited because I love both steak and wings.
Yes.
And I invited you and the bailiffs, the proprietors of Priority Roofing, to come out and be part of the judging.
Yes.
And so tell me what you thought about it.
It was a good experience. When you think of the pool of people that you're pulling from in Blanchard to judge a steak competition, okay, you probably want to make the rubric a little more simple. It was
score sheet.
It took a little bit of thinking. Well, I just wanted to enjoy some steak. Can I just be like, "Yep, that's it.
Thumbs
that
up,
was it. Thumbs up,
thumbs down."
Yeah, I mean we're judging a lot here.
It was a complicated score sheet.
Yes, but it did make you think. It did make you think. And I got my mind down. Now here's the thing: is I didn't stay around for the results.
Yeah,
and I just knew all the steaks by a number. And so
get to see
I don't know if number 4 won or not. I don't know what company, who that was.
Minden Rocks won.
Okay.
A team that has competed in many of our events. And so I was really glad to see Joe and the Minden Rocks team take home the $1,000 prize.
Ooh. What was it?
$1,000.
Oh, I thought it was like a $1,000 gift card to the store.
$1,000. So congrats to Minden Rocks for winning the Steak and Wings Showdown.
I like
and judging, honestly, like I feel like I was called to do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Anytime I can do it.
I'm going to say this too. Remind me, because we were a sponsor and I still haven't given you checks for it. Please remind me because I will forget. Yeah. I have forgotten until just now. Please remind me on that.
Thank you for your support, by the way. So we had to think about what we were going to talk about, and it's been a while to share some of our business pearls of wisdom, of which there are many.
Yes. Well, I'm flying a little bit on a high because I just went to a conference.
Oh,
and that's I was thinking about that too. Is I've built a lot of my business and innovation. The two things that have probably helped me push the envelope forward has been coaching, and second has been going to conferences. And what I found is a lot of people that go to conferences don't utilize it the right way, right? It's an excuse to go out of town, or they spend their time at the expo, or it's the worst place to be because it's just a bunch of people, it's kind of like walking through the mall and the people trying to sell you your body cream or whatever.
Straws.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And it's like thousands of them. But for me, it's like, it creates in most of my experiences, you get to go to seminars or panels of people doing very similar things to what you're doing, and they're not competitors. You're not in their market, and so they're very forthcoming with the information they share. And to me, just going and and a lot of these people are from the East and the West Coast. So they're probably several years ahead of our industry and our market. Mm-hmm. And so anyways, I'm glad I went. It was a good conference. I have a lot of stuff to go and digest. That's another thing that people don't really do well. And I've been guilty of this in the past, but we send our team to conferences all the time, but we're like, hey, if you don't digest it and come up with a plan on implementing what you learned, then you're not going back next year. Right. Yeah. And so we do that. I mean, we'll make a spreadsheet of like things to implement the next 30 days throughout the rest of the year. And we're just chipping away at that list from one conference.
Yeah. Wow.
So good stuff.
I've gotten to the point where when I go to the conference or the show or whatever it is that I make myself say, you need 2 to 3 big bullets and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And look, and not everyone's a home run, right? I mean, I can tell whenever a seminar is about to start, I'm like, this is going to be relative to me or not.
Yeah.
Right. And so you just kind of do what you got to do. But this year I also used an AI app that recorded the sessions and broke it down into a recap.
Interesting.
It's pretty awesome.
Interesting.
And it records the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get one of those.
So I can look at the transcript, or I can look at it. Was like $9 a week. So I had to pay for 1 week.
and then you canceled.
There you go. So anyways, the funny story. So this conference is in San Diego, and we land, and I've over the past several months, Phil Wickham is a well-known worship leader, writes a lot of the modern worship songs. We took our kids to go see him in Texarkana a couple months ago. Then he had a documentary release, kind of sharing his story and showing a live performance. And then the Charlie Kirk Memorial, he was like the worship leader there. So we've seen a lot of them in our house. So I get off the plane and I'm walking to get to a cab, and he's standing there. He's from San Diego, but he kind of had a cap pulled down. He didn't want anybody talking to him. And so I just said, hey to him or whatever. But then then I was like, man, should I have gone and talked to him? Cause whenever I've met people in the past that are, celebrities to me, I always like, man, that was so stupid what I said. Right. And so I didn't want to like fanboy or anything on him. So anyways, it was funny. So I texted Laurie and said, hey, I saw Phil Wickham. And she's like, it's picture, it didn't happen or whatever. So she texts Carter and said, hey, Dad just saw Phil Wickham at the airport, but didn't take a picture. And Carter's response said, good, that's one step closer to us not using cell phones. That was his response.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow. I mean, a pioneer.
Response.
A pioneer. He's really got it figured out. And, I give him a lot of credit for that. Yeah. Incredible stuff.
That was funny.
From a bright young mind there.
Yes, there you go.
He will be putting plumbing fittings together before you know it.
Yes, and, yes. So, but yeah, so, it's interesting. You brought up Storybrand, which is a Donald Miller book and concept and training on business, specifically marketing. And I've been, I've used Storybrand let me go back. Donald Miller has been influential to me. He, when I was like 20 years old, he released his first book, Blue Like Jazz. Do you remember this book?
I read it.
Yes.
I read it.
I own it. Wait, read it? Oh, yeah. What does Michael Scott said? Read it. I own it. Read it. I own it, but I've never read it.
Good book.
Good book.
It was a good book.
Yeah. And this was it was kind of like a lot of people like us that grew up in a very fundamental, Southern Baptist setting.
Yeah.
It kind of was a little thought provoking on religion and spirituality and
was he the harbinger of deconstruction? Did he like kick it all off maybe?
No, I don't think so. I think he probably may share some values with them, but I don't think he's, there's several lanes that kind of go into what they would call a post-millennial church movement.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they're calling. Isn't that right? Post. I don't know. But no, I don't know if I don't know. Maybe. So, but he, I read several of his books. this was like early 2000s. Then I didn't hear about him again for probably 10 years. And he's starting to do these kind of business focused speeches and marketing that's kind of revolves around telling stories. And probably in 2014, 15, he released this training, which is Storybrand. And I bought into it. And it was kind of great because I spent a lot of money for that training. And then I grandfathered into all of the stuff they put out now. And so they've kind of changed it. Now it's called Business Made Simple. And Storybrand is just one of the modules. But this, I mean, just great stuff on marketing, sales techniques, negotiating techniques, just some really good stuff.
Yeah.
But Storybrand really resonated with me, right? Because the concept is kind of using a framework to position you as the business and the business owner, or really your business, as a place of service and help, or a guide to who the true hero is, which would be the customer.
Right.
And that is totally opposite of what traditional marketing has been, right? In fact, and I tell this to my real estate agents, a lot of, not only do agents view themselves as the hero, they'll like put it on their marketing, like a real estate agent with a cape. Like you're literally like, hey, I'm the hero here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about it is the main concept is like, hey, there can only be one hero per story. And we are all the hero of our own story.
That's
right?
true.
And so when you come in, start bragging on yourself and how great you are, subtly, it really turns customers off.
Right. Right. And there can only be one hero of this podcast too, by the way. So we're yet to sort that out.
You know, I'll be Yoda if you want to be Luke Skywalker.
That's TBD.
So here, let me also throw this out here. Okay. A little mind blowing for you. All right. One of the first people to go through story branding was Cassie Hammett, a Busy Smalls alum.
Wow.
Okay.
One of the first, like, period.
I think she was part of like their prototype or pilot training. Wow. Because her sister, Abby, and Abby's husband, James, past clients of mine, I'm thankful they let me help them sell their house when they moved to the Nashville area. This was probably 7 years ago, maybe, I'm guessing. Well, Abby and James is the brother-in-law of Donald Miller. His sister, who is from here and went to Byrd High School, is Donald Miller's wife. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Donald Miller might come visit Shreveport sometime. I don't know.
Donald Miller.
I doubt it.
Velvet Elvis himself.
No, he didn't write that.
Did you write that?
No, that was the deconstruction guy.
I Kissed Dating Goodbye. He wrote that.
You know what's funny is he was probably on like the Christian circuit with all those guys.
Yeah.
I think that was Rob Bell, Velvet Elvis.
Oh, that's right.
That's a good book too.
Yeah.
But he did take it far.
He was the one I'm thinking.
Disappeared.
They're all blending together in my mind, all these guys.
Look, any Christian author from the 90s and 2000s that, you know, wasn't King James himself.
They're probably out, to be honest, at this point. Most of them, if not all of them. Okay, so
so going back to that, we do have like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We have that with Donald Miller. So
good. Well, maybe we'll have him on.
Maybe so.
I've been spending some time watching some of his videos lately.
Yeah.
And
it's good stuff.
Yeah, no, he makes great content.
Yes.
And I've been really impressed about the way that he's grown this thing. And I do think that it's got some real tangible applications.
Yes.
You went through it, but we're going to go through it.
Yeah, that's just a brief overview. We can kind of go through it and break it down. And I would say go through the training. I mean, the training is just really, really, really good. And, you know, it's hard for me to, you know, I have an idea because of this is my kind of the way that I think. And I went through this training, and even my own companies sometimes are making posts that I would not cringe at, but I definitely wouldn't make it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and so anyways.
Well, it's hard to get it right. And I think most of us do come from the context of it. We start with point number 1, which is character. And so there's a hero in every story.
There's a hero in every story.
You got to make sure that you are not positioning yourself as the hero, that the customer is the hero.
Yes.
For me, that's difficult, right? Because I could come out and say, hey, man, we've had this business since 1969. My grandfather started it. We're local to the community, shop local, shop local, shop local, all those things that you kind of constantly hear in businesses marketing. I had somebody in a roundtable setting basically look at all of us who are similar and say, no one cares.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Well, he says that in the training. Like, nobody cares when you started.
Right. Nobody cares. Now, listen,
about them.
Contextually, I do think it's important to know that you've been around for a long, long time. I mean, I think contextually
that'll kind of go back to a place we'll get on the list where that goes into the authority bucket.
Right.
Right. It gives you the authority of, oh, wow, this is not just a fly by night business that just started and they're going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're going to stick by. They're going to warrant my work.
Right.
They're not. So that does give you some authority.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's defining who the character is and putting yourself in that role. Right. And so like when you think of marketing, well, if we're saying the customer is the hero, then all of our marketing needs to be pointing in that direction.
Right.
And so anytime marketing for my companies is pointing towards us being great, then we're already not doing it right.
Yeah.
Right. The marketing is you are great as the customer. And let's tell the story of how we were able to help you be great.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or be precious, as Gene would say.
I love it. That's one of my favorite sayings from this whole podcast is that one.
Yes.
Okay. So characters first, we understand that the customer is the hero. Secondly, in the framing of this in Storybrand is the customer has a problem.
Has a problem. Yeah. So really, and you can just Google this and hopefully Donald won't get upset. You should go through the training and pay for it. But if you just want to go, download, they actually have a sheet and it's called the Storybrand framework. And you literally fill out each square, right? So you start with the character. Well, who is the character? And you can be real specific. You can say, well, my main character is a contractor. Or my main person is a stay-at-home mom, or my main person, or you can get kind of specific of who that character is. But then, yes, you're going through a problem, right?
He says you got to put your hero in a hole, right?
Yes.
Because, and I'll just take a quick step back from all this. I think one of the skills that I would actually care to learn better than I do now, beyond golf, I think golf's up there. I want to learn how to play golf, but I want to be a better storyteller. And I'm going to tell you why. Because right now we've talked about attention is the only remaining valuable commodity left. Like everything's commoditized. So attention is the only commodity that is scarce. So you can turn on your phone right now and be hit up by 2,000 advertisements. Your attention is what's really the most valuable thing. And the ancient method for wielding attention is ultimately storytelling.
Sure.
So if there was something that I just wish that I was just better at naturally, it would be storytelling.
Yeah.
But what he's doing with this framework is he's just putting you into a classical or ancient storytelling.
Sure. It is Shakespeare
guide.
Right? I mean, yes, it is. It is how. What was the first story about a hero and a dragon? What was that one?
Like King Arthur or something.
Beowulf.
Okay, there you go.
Isn't that like the first one that's recorded? I don't know.
Sounds right.
Okay.
But ultimately, starting with your character, that character has a problem.
Yeah.
Put your hero in the hole.
Let me also say this is like, you can do a story brand for. You could have 20 of these made for your overall company, right? So like you could make a different story brand for each character. Maybe you might say, well, hey, look, we have 5 different characters, right? So let's use a company as we go through this. You want to do plumbing or an industry?
Yeah.
Do plumbing? Okay.
Let's do plumbing.
So like if you think of plumbing, well, the character could be an apartment owner. It could be a landlord. It could be a nonprofit or a church. It could be just a single family home. It could be a single mother. It could be, you see what I'm saying? So like every one of those might have a different problem. or might have a different when we get to the next steps. And so like, so then if we're going to say plumbing, what would be the problem?
Toilet
could be the problem. Toilet broke. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Water bill's high. Overflowing. No hot water. Yesterday, I get a call from Laurie. This happens every time I'm out of town. Hey, no hot water. Kids took a shower this morning, hot water. 2 hours later, no hot water.
Well, like all 6 of them took an hour-long shower. So,
well, they're tankless hot water heaters.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's so. But I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm out of town. But
that's a problem.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, but yeah, so that's being very, so if you're going to do this, and I would suggest anybody just pull out a piece of paper and just go through this. Who's the character in the story or at your business? Then what's the problem? And that problem, I did this when I was in real estate. And the problem was, my client, wanting to own, the problem was they wanted to own a different home, right? Or they needed a new place to live. That could have been because they outgrew the other house. That could be because they're in an apartment. That could be because they're getting kicked out of where they're living at now, right? I mean, who knows? But that was the problem. They needed a new place to live.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point to bring us to number 3, which is position your business as the guide as opposed to the hero.
Yeah.
Because instead of, like you said, Luke Skywalker, you want to be Yoda.
Yes. And I would say on the problem, keep it simple. Like, I think that this can be overdone, right? So just keep it simple. You don't have to overthink the problem. Right? If you're a roofing company, the problem is there's a leaking roof. If you're a plumbing company, there's crap coming in the house,
Yes.
But yeah, so the guide. So this is very, very, to me, this is very, very, very important. I think this is where most people get hung up. It's easy for them to kind of do the first 2, especially identify the problem. But when it comes to painting yourself as a lesser than the customer, right? That's tough. And for a lot of reasons. One, we just take pride in our business, right? And we see that we do help a lot of people, and we think, well, the way to let people know that is to brag about it, right?
Yeah.
And so, how do you position yourself as the guide?
Right. Well, with a guide, you need 2 things as a guide. You need empathy. You understand the problem, and you need authority. You have the credibility, the skills, the background to help. So you need both of those things.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think that when we talk about empathy, so if I'm thinking of the plumbing company, right? The plumbing company, the empathy starts when the phone rings. Like if you have a business where people are calling in to request help or whatever, like that is the number one attribute of that person is being empathetic. One of the stories, and I've shared this so many times with my people in my business, but you told me this years ago, is that when, you're at the top of the company. And so if you end up talking to a customer, that means that it's kind of gone through several people that couldn't resolve the problem, right? And now it gets to you. And you said your approach to an upset customer is always to be to take their side, right? To be very, I guess you would say, empathetic.
Yeah.
So they call and say, "Oh, well, this happened to me at the store," and you're like, "Oh, well, that shouldn't be happening." Like that is, I would be so upset too. Like that is, I'm going to find out. Like that is not acceptable.
Well,
right?
To color it in a little bit more. Part of it is if you do have somebody who's coming in emotionally hot. Because they're not always in the clearest state of mind. Right. One of the things you can do to diffuse that, if you do it well, is to mirror that hot emotion.
Oh, yeah.
Because right away, they almost come off their position.
Yeah.
Because if you're hot They coming in hot and they're expecting somebody to be like, or defensive.
Yeah.
But you come in hot, mirroring that emotion of like, I cannot believe this happened. Not here. We don't do it this way. And then all the response that I typically always get is somebody like, man, come on, it really wasn't that bad.
Well, I'm not trying to get anybody fired.
Yeah.
So, empathy, that's kind of a hot word now in culture. And I think people totally misunderstand it, right? Because and one of the things I saw was when Charlie Kirk got assassinated, they were pulling clips from him using the word empathy, right? And they were saying, well, I don't have empathy. The haters were saying, well, I don't have empathy for Charlie Kirk. But I'm like, well, the word you mean is sympathy. And sympathy and empathy are not the same.
Correct.
Right?
That's right.
And that's where a lot of people get confused, right? Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone or sorry for their situation. Empathy is what we're going to go into, and empathy is understanding their situation, being able to put yourself in their shoes. That's really what you're going for there.
Yes.
So that's why I always tell my real estate agents, I'm like, hey, every good real estate agent should move like every 2 years. Right? Because it reminds you of, think about it. You've moved within the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how do we have this much stuff? Why didn't I hire people to do this? Maybe you did. The past few times I moved, I hired people because it is just like, it's horrible, right?
Yes.
It's stressful. You put a house on the market. Now you have strangers walking through your house. Now, you look through a different lens, right? Maybe you were able to tolerate the chipping paint or the whatever. Now strangers are about to walk through your house. Right. And then what happens when somebody wants to look at the house and we're about to sit down for dinner? All dinner is canceled. We're going out to eat. Well, we got homework. We got this. We got that. Yeah. Right. And so like when you go through that experience, you kind of have this empathy of understanding what your customer's going through.
Right.
So when a single mom does call in and she's saying, oh, we have no hot water. Well, empathy would say, oh, well, she probably worked all day today. She has to bathe her kids tonight so that they can go to school tomorrow. Right. And so like you kind of put yourself in their shoes. Well, now it just becomes just an ordinary call that comes in for the plumbing company to, this is a crisis for this person.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's flexing that empathetic muscle.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Yeah. Right.
Because how many times do we call in with a problem to a company and you don't feel like you're cared for?
That's right.
Right.
100%.
And that goes to how they answer the phone.
Yeah. And, for us at the stores, one of the things that I've got like in my mind, I'm trying to make some signs that are, we are Yoda, not Luke.
Yeah.
And that's the idea of the best way to treat this customer as precious is to understand that you are not the hero. It's not about you. The customer is precious. We're here to be the guide. We're here to say, thank you for your business. We're here to say, were we able to help you? Those are two key phrases in our processes. Yep. They talked about, Donald Miller in one of these videos today was talking about the guy who wanted Chick-fil-A to say our pleasure. And he said it took him 3 years to get everybody on board. And as we're working on our little catchphrases like this, it's taking a long time to get everybody to understand that this little phrase is representative of something bigger. It's a token. It's something we do. It's a ritual, but it actually means something more. And it doesn't, when he said 3 years, I was kind of like, oh yeah, that sounds exactly right. You're not going to flip that over in a month. No. It's very difficult because it's not just the phrase, right? It's more than that phrase. It's what that phrase represents and how you train your entire staff to orient around. For us, it is, were we able to help you today on the front end? And when you're loading out your lumber, thank you for your business. Yeah. And to hear it every single time. And some people are just like, I don't know, it feels like corporate. It feels too corporate, and it's like, that's not the idea.
Well, and it's interesting too, is because this is going into the messaging. It's not going to go into the operational side of do you actually do what you said?
Oh, that's
right. That's a whole nother thing, right? Because then if you don't have that side down and you're saying, hey, all we want to do is make you happy. We're here to help you. And then that doesn't happen in the building, then they're saying, well, whenever, I talk to somebody, they said they're just here to help me. And, I've been standing here for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Right? Great story. Yeah. Not believable.
Exactly. So that's a whole nother podcast, part 2.
Sure. The story, part 2. So you want to be the guide.
Empathetic. Then authority. So authority is great. I think that to me, the strongest authority comes from customers. Because, it's one thing for me to say it as a business owner, but it's another thing to hear a peer say it, right? That's why I built my company, my real estate company. My sales really was all referral based, because when somebody referred somebody to me, I didn't have to go into fight over commission or fight over, hey, you can trust me, right? That authority piece was given by another trusted person.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we live and die by reviews.
Yes.
And if you're not tracking, if that is not one of your top 5 controllables or metrics that you're going after as a business, no matter what industry, it should be.
Yeah.
Because if you're not pursuing positive reviews, you're going to get reviews. There's going to be the bad ones, right? And so the only way to bury a bad review is with positive reviews.
Yes.
And so that has to be, somebody on your team has to be just every single day pushing that.
Yeah. Well, but and I'm 100% with you, but again, the story part 2 would say, you can't, it's got to be real.
It has to be real, but I feel like people want to help. People want to give you good feedback and good reviews. You have to make it easy for them to do that.
Yeah. You have to earn the right to ask.
Yeah.
You have to earn the right to ask.
Well, and there's strategic ways to do it. We only want to ask people that did have a good experience. So, I was at that seminar and this guy said, we use this app or this program called Opinion to send out post surveys.
Yeah.
Well, he said, if they make it less than 5 stars, the page just kind of freezes up until they just click out of it. It doesn't take them to the next thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. I was dying laughing. But no, it does need to seem authentic. But a lot of people just don't know how to give the feedback, or they don't know that their feedback is important,
that it matters.
Yes. Or how to do it.
Yes.
Like, how many times, I have people all the time, the plumbing company did a great job. People tell me all the time, word of mouth. And I'm like, well, did you leave a review?
Yeah.
They're like, well, where do I go to do that?
Yeah.
Right. So there has to be a process or a flow that triggers, easy steps to leave a review.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. We've really worked on that lately.
And even better, if you could maybe give them a few pointers. This is just high level marketing with Google. But if you could maybe say, hey, in your review, make sure you mention the store again. Ivy's Hardware and Lumber. Maybe even mention the location you were at. Blanchard or Halton.
Right. Well, you have to
maybe even mention what you purchased.
Yeah.
Right. Because that all feeds into that algorithm.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody says buying a hammer in Halton, that review might be the search that pops up.
Right. I wouldn't suggest hammer. Again, you're so stuck on hammer. Man, look, we don't even sell hammers.
I like a good hammer.
It's just,
you don't sell
them. I mean, that's so low.
You have them.
We have lots of them.
Lots of them.
You just don't sell them.
Oh, you know what? I needed a good 2x4.
There you go. I
got it.
Much better.
Right down the road.
Much better.
At Ivy's.
Thank you for that. Did you leave a review?
I'll also say this. This is a great, going back to reviews, as a small business owner and you're trying to gain traction, right? I've traded reviews with other business owners.
Sure.
Especially networking.
Yeah.
And if it's like, hey, I have a goal of doing 1 positive review a day. Well, maybe that's a well you need to tap into.
Yeah.
Hey, what other business owners have used me or I use them? Hey, I'll leave you a 5-star review. You leave me one.
Yes.
Good stuff.
I like that.
Yeah. Authority.
Authority is a good one.
Another authority, let's just go back to other authority, would be accreditation, Better Business Bureau, any kind of certifications you've gotten, any kind of associations you're a part of, that all gives into authority, and it needs to be present. It needs to be on your email. It needs to be on your website, clearly stated. Those are all authority pieces.
Yep. I like it all. Okay. So the next part of this framework is, as the guide, you give them a plan, which is a simple, clear path forward.
Very simple.
Either a process plan or an agreement plan, but you give them a plan to move forward as their guide.
And if I recall correctly, it needs to be like no more than like 4 or 5 steps.
Yeah.
Like a plan. Yep. So and I think this is very easily stated on the website as well. So if I'm a plumbing company, right, and I have, I'm empathetic. Oh, we're here to help. We know that it can be frustrating to not have hot water. Let us help you. We can get to it within 24 hours. Here is the story of all the people we help with hot waters. You can read their stories, right?
Yeah.
I get in trouble because I say hot water. It's really a water heater. It's not a hot water heater.
Not a hot water heater.
No, it's a water heater.
Common mistake, though.
Yes, water heater. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because like even the code on like other is HWH. That's the acronym. That's what they use for it.
It's like, is everybody this dumb? Yes, we're all this dumb.
We're all this dumb. Okay, so make a plan. So hot water heater would be, okay, well, here's our plan. Okay, you've called in. All right. So our plan is we need to, first step, technician on the field to diagnose. Okay. Step 2, we give you that diagnosis and how much it will cost. Step 3, we fix the problem. Mm-hmm. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very simple plan. And so but you got to tell them that. Well, right. Hey, here's your problem. Well, here's our plan on how we can help you do this.
Yeah.
Right. First thing, we got to get a technician there. Right. Oh, sorry. No, I can't really give you a price on the phone because we don't know the problem. Right. Mm-hmm. Our plan, the way we do it, is we got to get there first.
Yeah.
First step.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So give a plan.
And we can go a little bit faster on the rest of these because the last one is, this next one ties in, which is give a call to action, which is more or less what you've done. Yep. And then, were you there to help to avoid failure?
I think on the give to call to action, what I found is that's really needs to be throughout all of your messaging, not necessarily verbally, but like, man, how many times I was doing it. I'm trying to think of what it was last time, but there was a company or a product. I don't know if it was a restaurant or something, but I couldn't even find where it was located. Right. I mean, whatever the product was great. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, is this something? I mean, is this in my town? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm clicking through to see where they're located. Right. Mm-hmm. And so like it's the call to action should be very visible on everything. Call us today. Come by the store today.
Yeah.
Come now. Hey, if you're in the area in Blanchard, stop by today. Here's our address. Like make it very clear.
Yes.
What is the next step for them. Mm-hmm. Yep. So on blogs or emails or Facebook posts that we're paying, it's like it all needs to have call to action. Call today. Call today. Call today.
Mm-hmm. That helps them avoid failure. Point number 6. Meaning if you show what's at stake, if you don't take action.
The fear bucket.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're not like being super manipulative, but to the degree a little bit saying, hey, if you don't get this hot water heater fixed, that shower's going to be cold.
Well, it's not even that to me. And what's the last one?
Ends in success.
Yes. So the fear, so you can either go with 2 buckets. You can go with the fear bucket or, here's why I like the fear bucket is because you're helping them think through what's the alternative. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so I can say, hey, if you use me to list your house, I can ensure this is all the stuff I'm going to do. We've already been through this plan. I'm doing professional pictures. I'm doing all this stuff. Here's a proven track record of everything I can do. Now, you might could find somebody that would do it cheaper, but let me tell you, 90% of the realtors in this town are not going to do these things. And Mr. Buyer or Mr. Seller, if you did take that path, sure, you might save a little bit on a commission, but your house might take 6 months longer to sell. It might sit for a long time. After it sits for a long time, guess what you're going to get is lowball offers. Is it really worth that risk? Right? Yeah. So you're kind of going that fear bucket, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can use this roofing company that's going to waive your deductible, but guess what? They're located an hour and a half away. What's going to happen in 6 months when it starts leaking? You think they're going to come back and fix it?
Right.
Right? So same thing with plumbing, right? Oh, listen, we give this warranty.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, if you're calling other people, you better make sure you have this warranty and have it in writing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes a ton of sense. And it's also what we've talked about before, your point of differentiation. And it helps you negotiate. I mean, you're negotiating with me right now. When you're telling me these things, you're actually negotiating, saying why you're a little bit more expensive because of these values that I bring to the table. That's right. And that's going to help you avoid somebody coming in and going like, hey, you're a little high. What you going to do about that?
Yeah. Yeah. And look, and you have to do it in it really does need to be empathetic. Right? Because if there's really not a care behind, hey, this really could lead to some bad things for you. Right? But there's also saying, I would always start in real estate. I would always start my pitch by saying, hey, listen, there's some other great companies in town. I'm not sitting here bashing all the other companies.
Yeah.
But, here's some other great company. There are other great companies. Like, I'm not the only one. Mm-hmm. But here's why I think I am the best option for you.
Well, and look, that can be difficult. I mean, we have great local competitors. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard, I think, for all of us to say, here's our point of differentiation. Yeah.
But I think that what happens is when you, on this point of addressing competitors or the fear, you can undo your whole story of being the hero or the helper, not the hero.
Right.
Because it's easy for you to throw another company under the bus and be like, well, we're the best.
Yeah.
Or, the customer's still the best.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
We're the best helper. So anyways, but yeah.
And ends in success.
Ends in success. Yeah. So I think that another thing, you want to paint a picture of what success looks like throughout the whole interaction. Right. And so, and I like to make it very, like a detailed picture, right? Because how many people say, oh, well, we got your order. We'll get you taken care of. Well, what does that look like to be taken care of? Yeah. Right. So for a plumbing company, we might say, well, to take care of you, we're going to do it within 24 hours. Right. We're going to make sure that the job's cleaned up afterwards. We're not going to leave anything behind. We're not going to walk through and make your house dirty. Mm-hmm. And listen, within 24 hours, you're going to have that hot water heater or that water heater working and hot water again. Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of really kind of paint that picture and be real detailed. So like for me, if I had a home buyer, I would paint the picture on the very first meeting. Hey, listen, this is going to be a long process. There's going to be a lot of emotions involved. But just think about this. It's going to be worth it because in 6 months, you're going to be in that 4-bedroom house that you really want in the school district you want to be in. You're going to have that big backyard that you wanted for your kids, right? And we're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
Right? Every single time. Anytime emotions get high, hey, we're getting closer to that marker. Remember that house you wanted? That 4-bedroom with the big house, we're almost there, right? So you're just kind of constantly painting what the success looks like to them.
Well, I think it's really, really important too. If you think about, so we sell, a lot of doors and windows that are special order, and sometimes they take time to come in. Mm-hmm. You can do this one of two ways. You can get your quote back from the vendor and you say, what's my lead time on it? And they'll say, okay, it's going to be 7 days. Now, you can go to your customer and say, hey, look, they told me it's going to be within a week. Or you can say, listen, in my experience, I've seen it. Now, we could beat this, but we probably need to look at 7 to 10 business days for this, right? So what have I done in those two things? I've created the framework to either be the GOAT or the hero. Mm-hmm. And it's all in how I've proposed this to you. Because really, it could be 7 days, right on the money, right? But if I say, hey, it's going to be a week, now you're thinking, oh, man, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day. Yeah. Or if I'm saying 7 to 10 business days, well, listen, I know that they're probably going to beat it. Now, many times that they'll flub it and they'll go over. Mm-hmm. But when it comes in early, when it comes in, that Friday as opposed to the next week, now I get to call you and go, hey, great news. This door came in and it's ready for you to come pick it up. Mm. And I try to teach that to our folks who are selling this stuff because that simple phrase changes the way you're perceived. Mm. Because if you think that it's coming early and it does come late, what do you look like?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's setting the proper expectations, and I learned this from Adam Leighton is, you have, if you were looking at like a line graph, right? And the customer expectation is a 9 out of 10 and your expectation is at a 4 out of 10. Well, the difference between the 4 and 9 is disappointment, right?
Yes.
That's what that gap is, disappointment, no matter what industry or what expectation there is.
Yes.
So your job is to bring that client down to the 4 out of 10. Right. Mm-hmm. Or meet in the middle somewhere. Yeah. And I mean, even whenever the market was as hot as it had ever been, and I'm talking to a seller, I'm like, well, historically, it takes 5 to 6 months to sell a house in the market.
Yeah, that's right.
I get an offer in 2 days.
Great.
Good
news.
Yes. Yeah. But how many people make that mistake? They're like, oh yeah, we'll get this sold in 30 days. I'm like, why would you even put that pressure on yourself? No. So, but yeah, no, I agree. Expectations are just huge. And I think that here's the thing too with expectations. If we don't set the expectation on the front end,
they get colored in.
And so I always use the example of, I want to be the one driving the car and I want my customers to be in the back seat so I can control the transaction. But if you don't set the expectations, they've jumped in the front, they've jumped in the driver's seat.
And guess what?
And you are along for the ride.
Well, you're along for the ride, but guess what? You also are not. You're no longer the guide either.
Oh yeah. Oh no. You are at their mercy.
You're a passenger.
You're a passenger.
You're not the guide.
You're a passenger.
Yeah.
And that can be, and of course, you think of selling a product at a store or even a plumber versus, a real estate agent. Obviously the risks are going to be higher, right? But still, it just goes back to the user experience, the customer experience. Really just set those expectations.
Yes.
Right. It's like, just set proper expectations.
Yes.
100%. And then make sure you can fulfill them.
Yeah. So. He did a video I watched this morning, and he was talking about how to create your ultimate elevator pitch for your business. Yep. And I won't get too deep into this.
No, it's great.
It was like a 45-minute video. But one thing that was interesting was you would respond. Typically, I would respond to say, "Hey, I'm Josh Johnson. I'm general manager of our family-owned home centers and blah 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 blah. My grandfather started." And he's like, "No. He's like, your elevator pitch needs to have these 3 prongs, which number 1 is something like most people have a hard time going into a big box store and getting the help they need with their lumber and building materials. I make that easy for our customers in our markets.
Yeah.
I'm Josh Johnson, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And so it's just like using the story framework to give your elevator pitch for your business.
Yes.
Where instead of saying, I'm Leighton Allen and I am, president of Berkshire Hathaway, it would be, most people have a really hard time selling a house.
So my key phrase was, because there's one on there, I don't know if it's a third bucket, but it's like, what should be true? Right. And so mine was always, everyone should have a realtor they can trust. That was it. Right. Mm-hmm. And then my tagline on my website was, I help happy people in Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana buy and sell homes. Right. But then he even goes into that. You want to define who that customer is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want just any person.
Yeah.
I want to be happy.
Right.
I want to deal with happy people.
Well, there's that piece of it, but what he was driving was define the problem in the clearest, most broad way possible.
Yeah. And I think that is great. I think that's what's great about this framework is once you fill it out, literally anytime you're about to do any kind of talk, you can change it up some too, but like if it's like, okay, I need to make a social media post today. Well, look at the framework. You can take something from any bucket. You can go to empathy. We understand how frustrating it can be to have a water heater go out. Mm-hmm. Let us help you. Right. Hey, don't make this mistake and call, a handyman to come do a job that a licensed plumber needs to do. It can lead to disaster. Hey, like you can pull through any of those buckets.
where the customer is the hero and you're the guide.
Yeah.
And that's about as simple as it gets, right?
Yeah.
That's about as simple as it gets.
But I love your elevator speech. It's great.
Well, most people have problems finding a podcast where they can hear great small business tips from the trenches.
Well, you think of that, though. You think of the pain point, right? And so I think of, and I do think of that, going to a big box store and just walking around aimlessly. Not right, or
not being cared for, not being looked after,
cared for, or having to go through a self checkout,
right,
or having to do right, or I mean, I think that all that is great. Whenever we get into the trades, you're right. It's and look, they're a competitor of ours, but Hargrove did a great job with their campaign, Hargrove Roofing, and their tagline I still remember because it totally resonates with Storybrand, but their tagline is "Know who's on your roof."
Yeah.
Right. And that is a Storybrand type of marketing piece.
That's powerful because
very powerful.
I think when roofing companies, there's lots of them. There's lots of good ones. There's lots of not good ones. And I think that is really kind of an appeal to authority too, which is we're from here. We're local. We're not a storm chaser. We're not fly by night. That warranty that we offer you, we're going to still be here to back it up. We're not going anywhere. There's all that element into it.
We want to get to know you.
That's right.
You're a person to us.
That's right. So good for them.
Yeah. No, I always think of that. And I see marketing and where it kind of goes through. But elevator speech, are you going to use that now?
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. What's your, I was going to say, like your other role, what your elevator speech could be. What's your dad's elevator pitch like?
What do you mean?
Well, like if you're going to introduce yourself as a dad, what would your elevator pitch be? Most kids.
Kids deserve a father that will listen to them.
Most kids struggle with parents that don't listen to them.
Yeah. I'm a cool dad.
Okay. Most kids struggle with discipline.
I'm hip. No cap.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you speak the language.
I speak the kid language.
That's right. 6'7" is what I'm hearing a lot.
6'7".
Right, a lot of 6'7" right now.
6'7".
No clue what it means. No clue what it means. All right.
No, this is good stuff. Hey, but seriously, I mean, I would say anybody in charge of marketing or anything like that in a company should go through this training.
Yes.
Really good stuff.
Love it. All right.
You know what? What we should do is make a Storybrand elevator pitch for these companies.
I agree.
Because now we're about to go through and do what we shouldn't do.
Look how great we are.
Priority Roofing, locally owned and family business specializing in residential and commercial roofs, where you are the hero. And they help you,
the helpful guy,
with repairs, replacements. Look, insurance is difficult to navigate, right?
It is.
And they will help guide you through that process.
That's right.
And get you that roof. You don't want leaks. You don't want, look, you might have purchased a house that has an ugly shingle color on it, right? And I know this local hardware store that has great variety of colors for shingles.
We got great colors.
Yes. Plumber for Hire, a locally owned plumbing company specializing in residential commercial plumbing, where they want to do nothing but help you solve your problem. Okay. It could be a leak under the sink, kitchen, or building a new commercial building. They understand the frustration you might have. And they want to help you with that.
That's right.
Yep. So give them a call, 318-709-9090. Clint Davis Counseling, helping people make lasting internal change for external growth and success.
Yeah.
They start with helping.
Right. We love them and thank them for this facility.
Yes. 318-562-6903.
That's right. So most people struggle with getting lumber and building materials in a timely, convenient basis. Time is money, right? And so if you're waiting on a delivery to show up, if you can't get in and get loaded and get out quickly enough, Ivy's is here to solve the problem of being a servant in that and helping you get your lumber and building materials more conveniently, more quickly, just bringing a lot of value in the process too. And so if you are that person We invite you to go to ivylumber.com, check us out, come to the stores.
Call to action.
Right. And if you don't, you might be wandering around that big warehouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Aimless.
That could be
lost.
time you could be spent on your project.
On your project or with your family on that beautiful deck that you're building. Right. And so.
And look, some authority. One of the biggest critics can be critical of establishments is my father-in-law, Gene Ortiz. And my first introduction to Ivy's was when he was doing a project up here for me. And he said, have you ever heard of this company? Man, I ordered this earlier this morning and they showed up with it right to the door.
That's right.
He didn't have to leave the job. And he said it was the most beautiful wood he had ever gotten. So there you go. Authority
coming straight from Mr. Gene.
Yes.
And so listen, we want you to be satisfied with your purchase. We want you to spend more time with your family. And that's important to us as well. So ivylumber.com, 3 locations to serve you. Open since 1969. Not that it matters. But that's a long time.
It's a long time.
So
been around.
That's right.
We've done something right.
Well, we got to keep it going. Leighton, it's good to have a one-on-one again.
Yes, absolutely.
The story, we're talking about the story, and we want to keep writing the next chapter with a busy story. So we encourage everybody to follow us on all the platforms. Hit the follow button, hit the like button. Yep. How about a review for Busy Small if it's meant anything to you?
Ooh, yes.
How about that?
Yeah. Free entertainment here.
That's right. All right.